Good morning. I'm Devashish Ghosh on behalf of St. Clyde School, Israel, conducting the home tutorial because during this COVID-19 2019 lockdown, we are both the teachers and the students are at home. So I'm taking this home tutorial. Today I'm going to discuss about the class 9 history and civics. And by the instruction of our school principal, I am giving you the assignment only. You should complete this assignment during this lockdown period and submit after the reopening of the school. Assignment: give the acknowledgement, 100 words, discuss the art and architecture's feature. Art and architectural features of the following, and each should be of 200 words. That is, all these 5 points, every points need to be completed by 200 words. And necessary picture you should, photos or pictures you should paste in the left hand side, the white part of the copy. Now your items are Buddhist cave of Ajanta, iron pillar of Mehrali, Matin cherries synagogues of Cochin, St. Thomas Basilica of Chennai, Tower of Silence at Mumbai. So this is all about your assignment. You complete this one during the lockdown period and submit after the reopening of the school. Now today I am going to discuss the history lesson, history part. I am going to teach you the chapter 1, the Harappan civilization. Before that, I know that from the lower class you are reading history. Let me give you some idea about history. What is history? History is about knowing our past. When we know about what happened yesterday, day before, 10 years ago, 100 years ago and 1000 years ago. So this is called a history. History actually deals with the events and the dates. Let me give you some example. We are Indians, we cannot forget this date, 15th August 1947. Because on 15th August 1947, that means near about 75 years ago, we got independence. I repeat once again, we got our independence. That means before that, we are dependent on somebody. It is true that for 190 years, our India was a British colony and we were under the oppressive rule of the British. And we are under the crown of England. And let me go back a little, that during the time, the Silk Route was closed, was shut down, and all the European countries, they were searching for a new Silk Route. So in this competition, the Portuguese, they came forward, and it was Vasco da Gama who made his first achievement in 1498. And he found out the sea route to India, and he first visited Calicut, and the Calicut was ruled by King Zamori. So after that, all the countries, European countries, the Dutch, the French, they came to India for trade. Finally, as East India Company in 31st December 1600, the East India Company, they came to India for trading. And they take permission during that time. During that time, the India was ruled by the Mughals, and they took permission from Jahangir, the Mughal emperor, and they carried out their business here. Gradually they feel that there is no cooperation between the Indian empires, and they started spreading their power. So this is all about the European powers, how it spread, particularly the British, how they spread their power in India. Before that, the Mughal came, the Babar came, here in 1426, and his dynasty ruled India for 450 years, ending with Bahadur Shah Jafar in 1857. So what you observe, that the history deals with some dates and some events. Now my concept is, I am not going to teach you the Indian history. I want to tell you that who we are, the Indians, and what is our origin, where from we came. So this history goes back to 3720 years back. 3720 years back. That means 1700 years before the birth of Jesus Christ. During the time by the bank of the river Indus, a civilization erupted. What is civilization? The peoples, their culture, their religions, their faith, their belief, their education and administration, all together called the civilization. And this civilization erupted on the bank of river Indus. That is why it is called Indus Valley Civilization. And it consists of many cities. Among them, the two big cities are Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Today I am going to discuss in History Chapter 1 the Harappan civilization. So before starting or discussing about the Harappan civilization, I want to tell you that this first chapter's syllabus include origin. First is source, number 1 source, origin, content of civilization, urban planning, great bath, beard man, dancing girl, art and culture, shields, script, dockyard and trade, declines of Harappan civilization. So I am going to discuss on all these 12 points, and they are the part of your chapter 1 syllabus. Now let me tell you, number 1 source. I have told you that Harappan civilization, it erupted by the bank of river Indus. The history of the Harappan civilization, the Indus Valley civilization, consisted of two major cities, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. In 1921 and 1922, Sir John Marshall, R.D. Banerjee, Dayaram Sahani encountered Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. They dug out the ruins of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Now, it must have some source. How do you know about this Harappan civilization? The source is the Great Bath, Citadel, Sills, Beard Man, Dancing Girl, Dockyards, and Script. These are all about the first point, that is the source, which tells us how the peoples were living 3700 years ago. Origin, the period between 3250 BC to 1750 BC, that is 3600 years ago, this civilization flourished. I repeat it once again, the period between 3250 BC to 1750 BC, that is 3600 years ago, this civilization, Harappan civilization, flourished. The period is same as the Egyptian, Babylonians and the Mesopotamian civilization. Once again I repeat this point. The period is same as the Egyptian, Babylonians and the Mesopotamian civilization. Now the third point is extent of civilization. When the civilization is there, gradually it has its root for 3700 years. So it must be flourished. It was ruled by some king, and the king, they need some extension of their territory. Harappan civilization extend in north, the western part of Asia. In northwestern part of Asia, the northwestern part of Asia, this civilization flourished. Cities scattered in Punjab, Sindh, Baluchistan, although the Sindh now it is in Pakistan, Baluchistan, Gujarat, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. So in these areas, the Harappan civilization flourished. Mohenjo-daro, it is called the Valley of Dead, is 130 km from Lothal. Lothal it is now in Gujarat. It is 130 km from Lothal in Gujarat, and Harappa is 160 km from Lahore. So this was the extension of Harappan civilization. The fourth point is urban plannings. Now we are living in urban areas, or the villages they are living in rural areas. Now can you think that 3600 years ago they have a unique urban planning? Harappan civilization had unique urban plannings. The cities were in rectangular grid pattern. They were in rectangular grid pattern. One grid, another grid, third grid. In this way, they flourished. The cities were divided into citadel and the public building. Citadel is one part, and the public buildings, that is called the lower buildings where the common people live. The citadel, it had the places of the kings. The citadel, it has palaces of the kings, minister, lord, religious structure and granaries. Public building for the businessmen and artisans. In public building, houses were double stories built with brick and mortars. Here it is not mentioned that whether it is a mud mortar or any other cement-like mortar was used, it is not mentioned. Each house has a living room, bathroom, storeroom, kitchen and well. Now you can understand that 3600 years ago how they were flourished and how the urban were planned, the urban cities were planned. The fifth one, the source from where we know the the Great Bath. Number fifth point is the Great Bath. Now see, during our religious festival, we used to take bath in river or seas. During the big festival, the people were the thousands or lakhs of people crowded, and they celebrate the occasion. Likewise, they had a great bath, 55-meter long and 35-meter broad, and it was situated in the center of the city. It is just like a swimming pool. Galleries and rooms were all around the great bath. There are staircases which proceed to the level of water. Citadel peoples and the lower town peoples bathed during the ceremonies. That the citadel people, the kings, the ministers, along with the common people, they used to take bath during the ceremonies in Great Bath. Number 6 point is the beard man. Now what is the significance of this beard man? It is mentioned in the book. Strong and stout male figure carved with soft stone. We can see the strong and stout a male figure, and it is carved out from a soft stone. He was draped in small shawl with trefoil pattern. Eyes were elongated and half closed. Upper lips were shaped and combed beards. Probably he was an Harappan priest, and he helped the king in rituals and administration. Because we have found that during Gupta period also, the priests, they used to help the king, giving the advice for administration and helping them in rituals. So likewise, this beard man, he acted as a priest and helped in rituals and rituals and administration. The seventh one is the dancing girl. What is the significance of this dancing girl? It is a bronze made sculpture. Now let me come to this point. Bronze made. So 3600 years ago they had the knowledge of bronze. Bronze is a mixture, it is an alloy. So they had a knowledge of mixing metals. So the dancing girl was bronze made sculpture found at Sindh at Pakistan. It was found at Sindh, which was now in Pakistan. The statue of the goddess in Harappa. So it is treated as a statue of a god in Harappa. The little cloth put on but clad with ornaments. The lady, the dancing lady, she is in small or little clothes, not too much clothing are there on her body, but the whole body was clad with ornaments. The statue tells us about their knowledge of metallurgy. That means how to mix the metal to make the figure in bronze. That means they have a high knowledge in metallurgy. And dance was their art, was the part of their culture. So this dancing girl figure, it tells it is the goddess. We don't know, she is the goddess representing what path, we don't know. But we can say that this dancing girl shows that they had the dance was a item and is the part of their culture. Now the eighth one is art and craft. Harappan's peoples were expert in carving and art. They were very expert. They can carve out from stone, from metals, from wood. So they were very expert craftsmen. They engraved hump, bull, buffalo, bison, horse and elephant. They made figures on metals, wood, ivory and stone. And we know that these figures which they used to carve out were exported to foreign countries. That means Babylon or Egypt or Mesopotamia. They made glazed and colored potteries. So during that time there was no china clay or any others as the ceramic we are using now, but they were making pots with clay and they know how to glaze it. What the materials, they actually using the natural materials, the sap of the tree. And with that they used to glaze the potteries. And they made unique wall painting about wars and festivals. So if you go there, you will find that still the ruins are there. They used to paint the pictures of their wars and about their festivals. As you have seen, they were painted on the walls of Ajanta, which tells about the Buddhism. So likewise, they used to paint on the walls to tell about their wars and festivals. Ninth point is the seal. Now seal is one of the important documents and it acts as a source to know about the culture and about the civilization. The seals, more than 2,000 seals have been dug out at Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. 2,000 seals were dug out at Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. They are 2 inch by 2 inch, that is 2 inch broad and 2 inch long. 2 inch long and 2 inch broad slabs were dug out and they were made out of block of wood, stone or metal, on which the animal figures and the alphabets were engraved. What is engraved there? They engraved the figures of the animals and alphabets. Shells help us to know about the religion, culture, education, social life and administration. I repeat it once again. This shell help us to know about religion, culture, education, social life and administration. Now the 10th point Script. Now, in every culture, script is very important. Without script, we cannot learn a language. We know that in English there are 26 alphabets, which helps us to learn the English language. Likewise, the script is very important for the Harappan people. Harappan scripts were demographic collection. Now, what is demographic? Demographic is the representation of picture and alphabet. Demographic is the representation of picture and alphabets. Cells have 400 signs, symbols and picture. So they consist of 400 signs, symbol and pictures. We can recognize the picture, but still the signs and symbols are unknown to the historian. Harappan spoke in Dravidians and Barahi, the old Greek language. Dravidians is the language of the ancient South Indian people. That means the South Indian tribal people. And Barahi, it is also the tribes of Greek and their language. Now the 11th point is dockyards and trade. That is the amazing thing. They are using dockyard. That means they are also doing trade with other countries. To whom? During that time, the recognized civilizations were Egypt, Mesopotamia, and they were carrying trade with them. Lothals in Gujarat was the only dockyard along Bhogava River. Bhogava, tributaries of Sabarmati. Lothal was the only dockyards along the Bhogava River, and Bhogava, it is the tributaries of Sabarmati River, now which is now in Gujarat. Lothal docks had direct connection with Gulf of Combat. They had external trade with Egypt, Babylon, Mesopotamia through sea route. They exchanged silk, ornaments, ivory and precious stones. Inland trade were carried by artisans by barter system. Barter system is without money, exchange of materials or goods are called barter system. Okay, suppose I am giving you one bucket of rice and instead you are giving me one bucket of wheat. This is called the barter system. Now the 12th point is decline of Harappan religion. Decline of Harappan civilization. Now, when this regains the kings, their authorities, so it had some declines also. So this Harappan civilization, this goes on for 3,600 years. Finally, it declines in 1,700 years from the birth of Jesus. That means before the birth of Jesus is declined 1,700 years. Around 1,700 BC, the cities were abandoned. This is a big question. Why? It was a very flourished civilization, were it abandoned? Cities were collapsed by flood. Earthquake, and epidemic. There must be a violent earthquake which caused flood also. During that time, they don't know what is tsunami. Okay, so it was a terrible earthquake and flood, and after the flood, it is followed by epidemic. As now we are suffering from epidemic of COVID-19. So likewise, there was a great epidemic. Now another point is given by the historians, that is invasions of the Dravidians, South Indian tribals. Invasion of the Dravidians, the South Indian tribals, and the Cretanians, the tribals of Greek. So due to their continuous invasion, it is also caused the downfall of Harappan civilization. I think you have understood the chapter, and the chapter is followed by few questions. That is short answer questions, structured essay type question, and memorize the question bank question which is given at the end of the chapter. And you should do your homework in your homework copy and submit me after the reopening of the school. So this is all about my history and civics lesson for class 9, and I hope you are safe and sound. Keep yourself safe so that with a good health we can reunite after the opening of the school. Thank you.